taking the online race broadcast performance to the next level. This is the Full Velocity Network.
Well, I wonder if y'all missed us, but welcome to the Full Velocity Network here live tonight at the Martinsville Speedway, the Half-Mile Paperclip Oval in Martinsville, Virginia. Thrilled to be aboard here tonight, returning to the SRA 711 Super Truck Series, round number 1 for the XFM Elite 8 for the SRA Super Chase. These guys have already had 2 rounds of elimination, crowning their championship here for 2017 SRA 711 Super Truck Series. And thrilled to have you all here aboard tonight watching us live on Full Velocity Network. Thank you out there, everybody in YouTube land, for all the tremendous support you guys always give us. My name is Phil Lacasse, along with Todd Stanton and Joe Allen back at the controls this evening, as always, for us in the FVN control booth. And what more can you say, Todd? We come back to Martinsville. It's been a little while since we've been out here, but I mean, it's short track racing at its finest, and round number 1 for this XFM Elite 8. I mean, these guys, 8 drivers coming to championship hopes. Round number 1 starts right here tonight. You got to have a good night here at Martinsville.
Yeah, definitely got to have a good night here tonight at Martinsville Speedway. Trying to get yourself, punch your ticket early on into going to the next round here, so that way you can get to that next round, Phil. Because it's gonna be hard to race this track. This is a rhythm track. It's a flat track. It's paperclip shaped, as you said. It's one of those rhythm tracks. You gotta monitor your braking points. You gotta monitor a bunch of other aspects of this track, and not only that, watch out for the angry drivers at Martinsville.
Oh, absolutely right. If there's anybody who may have retribution to pay from a previous race, no better place to do so at Martinsville. You got to be hard on the brakes, as Todd said. You get really, really tight through these corners, Joe Allen, and we have a good, strong 18-truck field here tonight. A lot of heavy hitters in this field, a lot of heavy hitters involved in this championship chase, so we're going to have a good time here this evening.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm super excited to come out here and do this for these guys. Martinsville always provides some fun racing, and in the midst of a championship battle, you could see some serious implications for some guys, and some guys could punch their ticket to the next round as well. So I think we're going to be in for an awesome race tonight, and a good crowd for Martinsville. 18 trucks out here. Lucas Oil 175 presented by Fury Motorsports, 175 laps, 3 green, white, checkered finishes here tonight, if we need to use them. Jason Justice is definitely going to hope that we don't have to use them, but I think we're going to be in for a good show, guys.
Oh, absolutely right here as we get set for 175 laps here at Martinsville. It's going to be, an endurance type of night. Martinsville's a place that, can chew trucks and spit them out in a real fast clip. I know this place has been feast or famine for myself over the years, same for Todd Stanton. But as we look at, going into this evening, a Super Chase grid coming in. 8 drivers still championship eligible here as we start this XFM Elite 8 round of 8 here tonight at Martinsville. The 31 of Derek Justice, the number 7 of David Schildhouse, the number 30 of Corey Carpenter, the number 40 of Brandon Lawson also in there. Blake McCandless, who's on the 166 tonight, the number 9 of Frank Divins, the 15 of Matt Watkins, and the number 16 of Jason Justice. So 6 drivers here tonight. If one of them can win here at Martinsville, it's race number 33 of the season, that would punch their ticket automatically into the finale here at Homestead in a couple of weeks. And Homestead's a place you always want to be here, racing for your championship. So can one of these 8 guys find their way here to victory lane here tonight? Well, we're going to find out here in a couple of minutes. Trucks about getting ready to put themselves on the grid. So before we do, as always here live on the Full Velocity Network, let's start at trackside for the playing of tonight's national anthem. Yeah, the national anthem to get us started here live tonight at the Martinsville Speedway. Going to have a really great night here with the guys at the Sim Racing Association. You know, great series they have here. The flagship series, the 7-Eleven Super Truck Series, been here every Wednesday night throughout the NASCAR season. And it just feels like this season has gone by in just a blink of an eye here, as I can't believe we're already down to this round of 8. Race number 33 of 36 on the season. I mean, it's just really flown on by, and can't wait to see all the twists and turns of where this race is going to take us for 175 laps here tonight. But the truck's getting ready, Todd Stanton, to head down to the grid. We're going to put the Lucas Oil 175 presented by Fury Motorsports under the green flag. So without further ado, we might as well jump diving straight into our starting lineup for the evening.
And now, your starting lineup for the Lucas Oil 175 presented by Fury Motorsports from Martinsville Speedway. Starting on the pole, driving the number 40, that's Brandon Lawson, and his dancing partner to the outside. Driving the 166, that's Blake McCandless.
Row number 2, we find the number 16 Bud Light Ford. That, of course, is Jason Justice. To his outside, aboard car number 10. We've seen him a lot on Sunday nights. About hitting a rare Wednesday night. We welcome back to FBN, Matt Vassar.
Inside row number 3, starting in that 5th starting position, driving the number 31, that's Derek Justice. Outside of him, driving the number 6, that's driving the number 57, that's Maverick Morrow.
Rolling off tonight in row number 4 on the inside aboard truck number 36. A heavy hitter is going to start mid-pack here tonight. That is Taylor Morgans. And to his outside aboard the number 15, championship contender here, that's Matt Watkins.
Starting inside row number 5 in the 9th starting position, that's the car number 9 as we send it down for the command.
Start your engines.
Starting in that 9th starting position, the number 9 of Frank Divins. Outside of him, in the 10th starting position, that's a 53 of Justin Malolo.
Row number 6 tonight. Can there be any more exciting a row than this? Rolling off on the inside aboard truck number 7, that's the champ David Schildhouse. And to his outside aboard truck number 5, that's Mr. Excitement, David Day.
Next row back, starting in the 13th starting position, that's the number 26, that's Grant Wesley. Outside of him in the 64, that's Toby Roberson.
15th starter tonight aboard truck number 1, that is Bobby Farrell. And to his outside aboard the number 30, that's Corey Carpenter.
Noah Hart and Steve Looney round out our 18 truck field. The guys are getting ready to put the hammer down, the loud pedal down. Green flags in the air here at the Martinsville Speedway. We're down into corner number 1 already. And it's Brandon Lawson down on the bottom side. That is definitely the preferred groove here at Martinsville. Look at Blake McCandless just slip back into the clutches of the 16 of Racing Jason Justice.
Yeah, Jason Justice to the inside of Blake McCandless. Flat second spot is hit turn number 3 and 4 for the first time. They're hard on the brakes. Got to be, pay attention. Don't want to hit that rumble strip through these corners. They're still side by side. McCandless holding up strong on the outside. Matt Vassar able to clear Derek Justice in the race for 4th, but they're still side by side for position number 2, Todd. They're down the back stretching toward turn 3.
Down into turn 3, braking real heavy is the number 16 of Jason Justice. Blake McCandless drifts up the track just a little bit, but fighting strong up there with that 166 machine down the front straightaway into turn 1. Looks like a little heavy contact back middle portion of the field. Looks like guys made contact with the wall just a little bit, but they kept it going.
At Martinsville's a place you're going to see contact with other drivers. You'll see the outside wall a couple of occasions tonight as these trucks tend to get a little bit tight over the course of the long run. But now off of turn number 2, Jason Justice going to complete the pass of Blake McCandless. That may open up the door for Matt Vassar in that number 10 to do so. No, he's going to roll out of it. McCandless going to slam the door shut. Good racing going on back there for the 3rd spot now. But all chasing Brandon Lawson, Todd. He's up with a good 10 truck length lead with these guys racing for second. Can Jason Justice chase him down? We're going to put lap 5 off the board this time around.
Yeah, lap 5 on the board this time around. Martinsville, Virginia, Martinsville Speedway, this paperclip track. It's a rather interesting track that these guys visit each and every year. Matt Vassar right now running in that 4th spot. He was looking over Blake McCandless. McCandless was able to slam that door shut like Phil was saying. These guys are pretty much standing single file, but it looks like McCandless drifting up the track just a little bit. Let me touch base on that just a little bit, Phil. Is when you're going into that corner, this is a rhythm type of track. You got to be on your marks. If you make one mistake, it's a bottom feeder track to me as Martinsville, Virginia. You can make it work up top, but you can't make it work as good as you can on the bottom side. So you got to hit them braking points. You got to get on the gas. You got to know when to roll out of the gas. So these guys do not take over that position. And right now, Blake's been struggling here early on in the going, but Blake's a good driver. He's going to get the rhythm, and he's going to be real fast here.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think because the tires wear on, Blake's one of those guys notorious being able to save tires. Is just checking on action going on further back through this field, looking at the likes of the 57 of Maverick Morrow. He's a short track ace if there ever was one. He's back there, the 57, currently in that 6th spot. He's got Derek Justice up ahead of him. Derek in there with a good race with Matt Vassar around for that 4th spot, all single file. But what I'm noticing here, Todd, you talk about a rhythm racetrack at Martinsville. You see these trucks start to wash up the hill a little bit here. Well, they're flat corners. I mean, you go down there, you stamp on the brakes, you hope it gets stopped and gets turned. But, you know, we talk about being the rhythm racetrack it is, but at a place like a Martinsville, are you more prone to want to race the racetrack or race the competition around you? Because at a place like this, if anybody who's ever tried it, it's a really delicate mix of, you know, racing that competition, but racing the conditions of this racetrack and just the natural progression of what it gives you.
I'd like to race the racetrack and then worry about the competition in front of me. It's one of those things that you don't want to get into the guys in front of you. Tempers do flare here. It is a short track, indeed a short track. And I've seen a lot of tempers, a lot of bad tempers here at Martinsville in the NASCAR 2003 community and beyond. You know, even at the real NASCAR Cup level, those guys tempers flare, and it's just one of those things that you want to be in rhythm. You do. You want to race the track, but you also got to be aware of your surroundings, the drivers in front of you.
You also do, but also you got to pay attention to where traffic lays here at Martinsville as far as where you are in the field. I'm looking back to our broadcast partner, the number 7, the champ, David Schildhouse. One of those guys racing for this championship. He finds himself mired all the way back in 11th, but look at the interval. It's over 5.5 seconds between him and our race leader. You look all the way back to guys outside the top 15, like a Steve Looney, a Grant Wesley, a Corey Carpenter, another guy in there for a championship. I mean, they're over 10 seconds of the rears. That's more than half a racetrack. You got to get on your game here because you can fall a lap down if you're off really quick on this opening run, really, really fast.
Yeah, indeed you can. As lucky dogs are in effect here, but you don't want to put yourself into that predicament this early on in the going, as we're on lap 13 of 175 here this evening, and these guys starting to pull away. Looks like Jason Justice has cut into the lead of Brandon Lawson just a little bit. Moments ago it was 1.3. Now it's 0.871. So racing Jason Justice trying to cut into the lead of Brandon Lawson. Blake McCandless about 1.3 seconds back. Matt Vassar's running in that 4th spot in that number 10 machine. He was being contested by the 31 of Derek Justice for that 4th spot. Justice was not able to get by him. He settles down and in for that 5th position. 6th right now is Maverick Morrow, Taylor Morgans, Matt Watkins in the 8th position. Mr. Excitement David A has sliced and diced his way up through the field into that 9th spot. Justin Malolo right now hanging out in that 10th position.
Your current top 10 now working lap number 15. But, Joe, as we see these guys kind of strung out around the Martinsville Speedway, something we really expect, we're not seeing a lot of, as far as challenges for passes. Is that just a product of Martinsville being a tough place to pass, or is it maybe these guys trying to save their equipment, knowing if you use your stuff up too early, you can just ruin your night here in a hurry?
Yeah, and it's one of those short track deals. Really, when you get to a track like Martinsville or Richmond or Bristol, it's a rhythm track. You kind of get into your rhythm out there, and everybody starts to settle in, and the field gets a little spread out. But, this is a flat track. It's not an easy track to pass on. You really have to set up your corners. Going into the corner, it comes down to whether you can outbrake the guy in front of you or not, or how aggressive you're really willing to be early on in the event. And a place like Martinsville, in all the years that I've driven here, it seems that a lot of the setups are built to actually, the truck will start to get tight on corner entry, but if you get on the throttle too early, it can actually snap pretty loose on you off of exit, but it can also get tight depending on how you manage your tires. So, a track like this, it's not an easy track to just go out there and turn laps. It's really a rhythm racetrack, and Todd said it best. You go out there and you race the racetrack more than you race the competitors around you. As we see, the 31 of Derek Justice looks like he's battling with that number 10 of Matt Vassar for that 4th position, I believe, guys.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, good race going on for 4th, but it just touches more on what both of you guys have said. Matt Vassar, trying to play the racetrack here, but also playing the competition of 31 of Derek Justice to the inside. Look at him fight back on the high side there, side by side, Todd. They're racing good, hard for 4th spot, but how much do you think Matt Vassar may be burning his stuff up, trying to run as hard in the outside lane as he possibly is?
Yeah, it's interesting to see what's happening with the Derek Justice down onto the bottom side. The number 10, Matt Vassar's on the top side, the top shelf of the Speedway. He's gonna give that up and see what happens there.
Do you have a set day when you stop working?
Okay, we
or
have
you
issues,
just keep
guys.
working
Issues off
until,
of turn number 2. We saw the 31 of
you
Derek
just can't work
Justice
anymore?
kind of get a little weebly wobbly down there, and it
Well, the
truck
weather's been
spun out
bad.
and around from
Or
underneath
like
him, and
in a
he's going
good
to put
way.
caution
Like, it's
flag
been
on the
good,
Speedway
but
for the
bad,
first time
because
tonight.
last
The
year we were
Baskin-Robbins
stopped by
Ford
now because we already
going
had like
around.
all the
Don't know if
frost.
there was contact there, Joe. I think maybe he just kind of got down there, kind of locked it up, and just looked like it was a solo spin. One of those things at Martinsville when you run the low side, I believe, tried to get back on the power, and not sure that it stuck with him or not. Don't want to speculate, but I think maybe you got a little bit of a brief look at there on the live play there, but I'll let you go back, of course. Look at our first full velocity rewind of the evening, and just as we say that, Joe Allen, the best in the business, ready to go. So, Joe, for the first time tonight, you're all set now with a full velocity rewind. Take it away.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. We're going to focus on the 31 of Derek Justice and that 10 of Matt Vassar. We were just talking about that battle, guys. Derek dives down into turn 1 here. Looks like there wasn't really any contact. Vassar squeezing him down there, and Derek actually hits that curb, and anybody that's raced Martinsville knows that that curb is not a forgiving curb, and as he hits that, he might have actually had a little bit of help from the 57 of Maverick as he bounced off the curve. 57 just gets into the rear end of Derek and starts to spin him around. Derek tries to save it, gets on the curb again, thinks he may have it saved, but as he lands and gets those rear wheels lifted up off the ground, ends up putting the power down just a little too soon, and some issues there for Derek, unfortunately, and that is going to spin him back around. So he'll have to go down pit road, throw some new tires on it, and start from deep in this field, probably back towards that 15th position, depending on how pit stops and stuff cycle out. So tough break for Derek Justice. He's going to have a little bit of work ahead of him to get himself back up to the front. Back up to you guys in the booth.
He absolutely going to have a lot of work to do. The good thing is, Todd, he's still got 150 laps left of this thing to do it. So we got a lot of racing left to go. We know Derek, one of the fastest guys out there, very, very smooth. There's a guy who can come from the back to the front and manage his stuff through the course of another 150 laps. I think it's pretty safe to say Derek Justice certainly fits that bill.
Yeah, I definitely think Derek Justice is going to be able to work his way back up through the field and be able to make some passes. And Derek Justice, like you said, no slouch. He's won here on the Full Velocity Network. He's won on he's won many events here throughout the sim racing community. So Derek Justice, no slouch. We'll watch his way. He'll be one to watch all the way through the field.
Absolutely right here. Working now the first caution flag leaving at the Martinsville Speedway. Thank you out there, everybody in YouTube land who may be tuning in now for the first time tonight. We have a great event here, the Lucas Oil 175 at the Martinsville Speedway. One of the great things about this SRA 711 Super Truck Series, all the great awards programs these guys have put together for this series. I know Joe's going to display all those on the screen to kind of give you a glimpse and look of what these all look like. But these guys do a lot of great awards for the 711 Super Truck Series. Of course, the XFM Pole Award goes to our pollster every week. Tonight, that belongs to the number 40 of Brandon Lawson. Also, the Extreme Motorsports Half.com Halfway Challenge Award. That'll be awarded on lap 88 tonight to the driver who leads the lap at the halfway point in the race. The Insomniac's Sherman-Williams Fastest Lap Award awarded to a driver who runs the fastest lap all night. The Blue Dreams GFX Lap Leader Award, it goes to the driver who leads the most laps in a race. The Advanced Carpentry Hard Charger Award goes to a driver who gains the most positions in the race. So wherever they qualify, that it kind of factors in. And also finally, the Goodies Extreme Headache Powders Award goes to a driver who experiences the worst luck in the race. And that's just one of the great things. Also, big hats off to Frank Divins and Extreme Motorsports for providing the SRA power rankings for the Super Truck Series every week. Just a lot of the cool things these guys do, Todd. This performance awards program that Jason and all the guys at the SRA have done with this series, it just makes for another wrinkle and one of the really cool things we see with this series.
Yeah, definitely one of the cool things we do see with this series. A lot of different awards on the line each and every week, and there's a lot of semi-series inside the big series, and there was a lot of interesting things that went on here in the 711 Super Truck Series. It was it's been awesome, and we're not done yet. So I mean, there's other awards to be given out, championships to be awarded, championships to be decided, I should say. There's a lot of good things to happen yet. So I'm waiting to see who's going to win this championship this year.
Absolutely. Well, we see green flags been displayed on the speedway, but it looks like there was some issues with scoring and timing and whatever was happening there. So I think the field's going to take the mock green flag, and now I think they're going to double up and get everybody back on the right cycle here. So must be something these guys are doing, just especially here for the short track conditions we have here at Martinsville tonight. We're awaiting now the restart here, Todd. The trucks are doubled up. We're back under green flag racing here. They're off speeding into turn one. Matt Vassar, our new leader, he gets really loose on the inside lane, almost washed up into Brandon Lawson. Great driving there by the 10. That thing looked awfully loose, and great save by that 10 machine.
Definitely a great save by the number 10. He was dirt tracking it through the corner, as per se, in that number 10 machine. So the 40 almost did the same exact thing he did, but in the opposite corners of the track. That leaves the door open for Taylor Morgans on the top side. Morgans in that Pez-sponsored Chevy Silverado, not able to complete the pass as he's down the back straightaway. He's right to the rear bumper of Brandon Lawson, but Matt Vassar currently leading in a heavy contest between the number 16 and the number 5 now for that 4th spot.
Yeah, David Day trying to make something happen on the outside of Jason Justice. Not sure he's going to have the, fresher tires that may work out, but the inside is eventually going to pay off. The 5 getting really loose there off a corner. You can see these trucks just bend off on the right rear and get really tight. Then they just snap the loose side coming off the corner. Looks like Jason Justice may complete the pass there. Nope. David Day going to fight back on the outside. That's a good race going on there for that 4th spot, Todd, into turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, fantastic race. Imaginary door handle to imaginary door handle off of turn 2 down the back straightaway. The 16 of Jason Justice down on the bottom side. The 5 of David Day up top, and he's making that top side work. That's not real easy here at Martinsville. He's still able to fight back on the top side down the front straightaway. Great race here. Looks like Racing Jason. Oh, contact made between Justice and the 5 of David Day. Day was trying to get as close as he could to try to keep that momentum up on the top side, but he lost the position in that process behind the 166 of Blake McCandless. But David Day saved it, though, in the number 5 machine.
Yeah, it was a good save there, but as you said, he's not only going to surrender the 4th spot to Jason Justice, he'll also lose position number 5 now to the 166 of Blake McCandless. And I don't know. Timing and scoring shows the 166 1 lap down, so I'm not sure what happened there to Blake, so we'll have to confirm with timing and scoring if that is indeed correct. But Blake McCandless currently scored 1 lap down, so that was a change on the racetrack, but may not be a change for position. But I was looking back further on back. There was a great battle going on, between Maverick Morrow and Justin Malello here about a lap ago. Malello got it up on the curb. Now he's going to fall victim to the 64 of Toby Robertson. That's going to be side-by-side racing back there for the 7th spot toward turn number 4.
Yeah, Robertson down on the bottom side as Malello gets all kinds of out of shape through 3 and 4. That's going to put himself in the contacts of the 15 of Matt Watkins. Now Watkins working on the bottom side. He's trying to get around the 53 of Justin Malello. Malello's just got to calm down just a little bit as he's going through the corners. It looks like he's trying to hurry his corner entry as he's trying to stay in front of these guys, and that's not what you want to do. Like I said, it's a rhythm track, and he's just got to settle down into his rhythm.
Oh, absolutely right. Just to update an issue with the time and scoring, Blake McCandless was erroneously put 1 lap down, so get that all sorted out. Blake McCandless is indeed running in the 5th position on the lead lap, so they've got that all sorted out. That should reflect right in our standings. Just to put the punctuation there, was puzzled to see why the 66 went a lap down, but indeed our buddy Blake up there in the top 5, having a good run through the early stages. But Matt Vassar, Todd, he took the lead on the restart, was able to clear out, get into that clean air in front of Brandon Lawson. So far now at 38 laps of the board, 10 truck making it work back there, and the 40 not able to put any pressure on whatsoever.
Yeah, Vassar won that race off of pit road here early on before we got the green flag there. He was able to pick lane choice, but I was questioning his lane choice. He was able to get around the number 40 though and stay in front of him because the 40 of Lawson looked really quick here. But Matt Vassar showing a little bit of his muscle here early on in the going in that number 10 machine. Don't count out the other guys though. They're right there behind them. They're all short track veterans. They all need a win here, and you're just looking at some of these guys up and down the field here, and you're looking just at the top 6 or 7 here. About the top 7 guys, they've broken away kind of from the rest of the field. Toby Robinson is sitting in the 8th position, but he's a little bit off of the number 57 of Maverick Morrow. But these guys are pretty close together within the car length and a half of one another, and they're able to follow each other right in their tire tracks. Is yellow flag going to fly once again? Not sure what happened to bring out this yellow flag.
Well, not quite sure myself, but second yellow flag of the night now going to come out on lap number 41 here at the Martinsville Speedway. Just trying to locate where something may have gone awry. Looks like it may have been around the number 9 of Frank Divins. Something may have gone amiss there aboard the Napa Ford there this evening. So we'll let Joe get back there and take a look at that. But that was racing action. Looks like going on outside about the 12th or 13th position. Not sure what happened to Frank there, Joe. I think you'll have a better look than we do, but just not quite sure. That thing skated up the racetrack. Not sure if he just missed his braking point or what happened here. Just show us what happened to Frank Divins in that 9.
Yeah, it looks like Frank just goes down into turn 3 here, overdrives the corner a little bit. He actually gets a big run on David Schildhouse in the 7 there, and looks like the right rear starts to step out just a little bit, continues to step out. Frank looks like he has it saved and then just overcorrects that thing and noses it right into the wall there in the middle of 3 and 4. Tough break for Frank. The front end damage on these trucks. Luckily, it is a short track. He should hopefully be able to rebound and recover from that. Really not too much damage, though, as he pulls up here into the middle of traffic. Hopefully, Steve Looney barely gets by that. The 83 and Noah Hart's back there. Bobby Farrell in the 1. Looks like everybody else gets away, scare-free. No damage for those trucks in the back there. But tough break for Frank Divins, guys. Looks like the truck just, it got evil on him and it stepped out just a little bit and overcorrected it and nosed it into the fence. So he'll go down, throw some fresh rubber on it, bang out the nose of that Ford F-150, and get himself back out there and rejoining the field at the tail end, guys. Back up to you in the booth.
All right, Joe, good job as always. I can't tell you how many times any of us could be guilty of maybe driving in the corner too deep at Martinsville and just trying to jab the brakes and just completely losing control, Todd. Something I've done a billion times here, and unfortunately Frank Divins making that little mistake there. Got some damage there to the nose, but the good thing at Martinsville, some damage to the nose may not impact your run too much. I mean, unless you really break the radiator, but I don't think the contact there was too substantial. Frank Divins should be okay to keep that thing marching forward here the rest of the night.
Yeah, indeed, Frank Divins should be all right and be able to march back forward with the number 9 machine. Frank Divins, seen him pick up quite a few race wins here at Martinsville. This is one of those tracks, Phil. I've ran here quite a few times. I think I have 1 win in my whole NASCAR 2003 career, and it was a dominant win. And there was 30 other trucks on the track, so I don't know how I pulled that one off. I will never know. Martinsville's not one of my favorite tracks. I would wish they would throw a little bit of dirt on it, and then I'd go dirt racing on it.
I'm glad you brought up there with 30 trucks, because I was almost going to ask, what, did nobody show up and you race by yourself? But believe it or not, I picked up a win here at Martinsville a couple of years ago driving a Whelen Modified. So even the worst of us can sometimes strike gold here. I mean, it's a racetrack. It's truly feast or famine. You love this place, you hate it, and some nights when you love it, you really hate it, and vice versa. So, anything can happen here. Is 46 laps on the board, waiting for the lights to go out atop that beautiful Full Velocity Network semi-rig. Great to see the semi has made the trip out here to Martinsville tonight. That's not one of the more unique pace vehicles you've ever seen in all of sim racing. I challenge you to find one here. That pace, that semi-rig, that is just a crown jewel of what we do here on Full Velocity. But these guys getting ready, Todd. Restacked, repacked, green flag racing back in the air.
Yeah, green flag back in the air. New leader, the number 31 of Derek Justice, almost 3 wide through corners 1 and 2 there. Oh, what a moment that was. As the 31 of Derek Justice was on the bottom. It looked like racing Jason Justice trying to put it up through the middle with that 16 machine. He thought better of that. And that move probably would have wrecked all 3 of those guys. So I thank Jason Justice for that, because that was an interesting call going into the corners. Maverick Morrow still fighting back on the top side. These guys are 2 by 2 down the back straightaway, about 4 rows deep.
Yeah, they are 4 rows deep. But interesting to note here on this restart, the 31 of Derek Justice did not come to pit road here, so that's how he's claimed the lead. The 57 of Maverick Morrow, the 16 of Jason Justice. Those guys both took 2 tires, so using a little bit of strategy here. Maverick using that to get track position. Everybody else, Matt Vassar all the way back, everybody else on 4 tires. So I have to update the progress of how these guys up front are doing. 31 with a very interesting play here. Not coming to pit road, going to stay out on those used tires, but track position. How often do we talk about a place like Martinsville, how critical track position is? I really like the call for not only the 31, I loved the 2-tire call for the 57 of Maverick Morrow. He's a guy who knows how to win at Martinsville, and right now he's got that prime track position, making a move for the race lead on the outside. Maverick Morrow to the lead for the first time.
Yeah, put that victorious. Oh, Matt Vassar around on the end of somebody's bumper. Vassar around on turn number 4. Yellow flag gonna fly once again.
There was definite contact there. It was close racing on a restart. And, man, what more can you say? We'll let Joe tell the pictures there. I'm sure he caught that on the live feed as well. I know he did there. Contact between the 16 of Justice to 10 of Vassar. Just one of those accordion effect checkups here at Martinsville, Joe.
Yes, sir, guys. That was a rather interesting wreck, running up there for, I believe, the 3rd position. The 16 of Jason Justice, the 10 of Matt Vassar. Jason just barrels it down into turn 3 here, tries to outbrake the 10. That's what we talked about earlier about these guys racing each other. It's about who can outbrake who, and you see him. Jason locks up that left front tire, the left rear, chases it up the hill. Looks like he's all right. David Day gets into the back of the 36 with the accordion, and Jason just continues arcing that thing up the hill a little bit. I'm not sure if he maybe thought he was clear of Matt Vassar or lost his focus after he gathered that thing back up and ends up hooking the 10 right in the right rear quarter panel, I should say. And Matt Vassar backs that thing into the fence. Jason slows it down. It looks like everybody behind these guys is able to skate by free. Not seeing any other trucks that are going to be involved in this one. Justin Malillo up on the top there. I'm going to imagine he gets down in time and out of the way. So tough break for Matt Vassar, guys. Some fast trucks having problems early on here. That is miring them back in the field, and, you know, this is not the easiest track to pass on. I mean, we see guys like Derek Justice that have been mired in traffic all night long, and he's actually had to use pit strategy just to get him out front into the lead to try and do something with clean air. So this is going to be a tough break for 2 guys that have really been around the top 5 most of the evening. Back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, so back here under the yellow flag now for the 3rd time tonight, lap number 53. But as Joe said there, you know, these guys haven't used, some strategy, Todd, to gain some track position, but we've talked about 100 times at Martinsville, being the rhythm race track it is. I mean, this is a physical game as much as a mental game here at Martinsville. You really got to be on your game here. You got to hit your breaking points, and it's just so easy here. If you're a little bit tired, I mean, granted, it's late in the evening here. We're past 11 o'clock on the East Coast. You may be a little bit tired right now, and just one of these things. Martinsville's a place you always got to have that laser cut focus. So easy to make a mistake in a place like this.
Yeah, real easy to make a mistake here, Phil. It's one of those things. Is like I said, it's on the East Coast. It's a little bit past 11 o'clock here, and a lot of guys making mistakes. And I've made mistakes plenty of times this late at night. But it's one of those things that you just gotta focus. You gotta clear your mind, just like at the real track. You have to focus, clear your mind, and try to do your job at hand. It's Justin Malillo going back onto the lead lap with the number 53 machine, so he's able to get the lucky dog recipient, that number 53 sprint sponsor machine. So pace lights are out atop the pace vehicle. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. We are on the back straightaway. It's going to be Derek Justice, Maverick Morrow, Taylor Morgans, and the number 5 of David Day.
Great top 5 there. Maverick Morrow is our current race leader. He's elected to take the outside lane. So he's going to be able to set the pace on the restart from the outside. Field working its way off of turn number 4, getting into the restart zone, awaiting a green flag, green flag up in the air. Maverick on the gas pedal. Looks like he may have spun his tires just a little bit. That allows Justice. He may have the preferred groove on the inside. Let's see what happens there. The 31 out to the lead, Todd, off of turn 2.
Yeah, 31 of Derek Justice out to the lead, down the back straightaway into turn number 3. This time Taylor Morgan is trying to follow Derek Justice down into the corner, trying to get that breaking point, trying to get around Maverick Morrow himself. Not able to do so as Morrow now peeks out of the line, back down to the bottom side, a little bit out of his shape there. 3 wide almost through the corner once again. David Day way up on the top shelf of the Speedway, as Day not able to complete that pass, but he put a handkerchief into that battle.
He sure did. It was at an almost 3 wide battle there. Maverick made the move to the low side. Taylor Morgan's stuck in the middle. David Day, we call him Mr. Excitement for a reason, trying to make things happen on the outside. Not an easy thing to do here at Martinsville, but if anybody can do it, that number 5 can. Looks like he may surrender the position now, put Taylor Morgan's out up to 3rd, Day back to 4th, but great racing action going on. Justice with the lead. He's got a mirror full of Maverick Morrow, Todd, who keeps peeking to the inside. We may have a race to the lead when they hit turn 1.
Yeah, these guys pounding the outside wall just ever so slightly, coming off of turn number 4. The guys drift up the track just a little bit. Looks like it's a wee bit tight coming off a corner. So now we got to battle back for that 3rd spot. David Day now dives down to the bottom And the number 5 machine, is he going to be able to outbrake Taylor Morgan's here? Is he going to get the grip off the corner now, down the front straightaway? Not able to do so. Taylor Morgan slams the door once again. David Day is looking, though, in that number 5.
Yeah, he's a guy who just wants to march forward. Both of those guys, they've been eliminated from the SRA Super Chase playoffs, so they're not one of the two of those are not the 8 guys remaining. The 2 guys up at the front of the field, Derek Justice and Maverick Morrow, those guys both are championship contenders. So maybe these guys like Taylor, like David Day, they may take some, chances here as this night goes on, knowing that, championship hoax on at stake. These guys just want to go out there and win on full velocity. Great race going on. It's all settled out amongst the top 4 or 5 trucks. Blake McCandless has fallen into the 5th spot, but he's got Brandon Lawson right there on his back tailgate, the 40. We know the 40's fast. Also, Corey Carpenter, Todd, he's rebounded nicely. He was deep in the field outside the top 15. The 30 truck now finds himself up to the 7th spot. Looks like he's got a good truck able to start moving forward.
Yeah, he's starting to move forward in that number 30 machine. That's a good play by Corey Carpenter. He was almost, moments ago, it was probably, 20, 25 laps ago, Phil. He was a threat to go a lap down there as he was falling quick off the leaders. But that's a strategy that Corey Carpenter plays. He kind of waits in the wings, and then he makes his charge with that number 30 machine.
Certainly does. And just kind of peeking, going back further through the field, just updating the 2 guys that were involved in the last caution flag. The number 16 of Jason Justice, the number 10 of Matt Watkins. Well, Jason able to pick his way through a lot of this traffic really quick. The 16 truck all the way now, Todd, he's moved himself up all the way into the top 10, currently 10th, was able to make the move around Matt Watkins here 1 lap ago. So how about racing Jason Justice? Had to take that end of the longest line penalty for a caution flag. He's starting to rebound nicely back to the top 10 here. Still not just working lap 65, so over 100 laps to go. He's got plenty of time to get back and be a factor in this thing.
Yeah, definitely got plenty of time. The number 16 machine, also a 10 of Matt Vassar, trying to work his way up through, like he made contact with the 16. As Vassar trying to work his way back up to where he was inside the top 5 also. So those guys just fighting for every inch of real estate they can as Vassar now completes the pass on Matt Watkins. But Vassar up into, I believe that's right around the 11th position, is indeed the 11th position, the number 10 machine. So he's just outside the top 10 as he's trying to chase down the number 16 of racing Jason Justice.
Yeah, Jason's definitely got a good piece here tonight. Vassar going to clear Watkins, as you said. So looking back up inside the top 5, everybody sorted out single file. Derek Justice, he's yet to come to pit road for tires here off of these last couple of caution flags. He's elected at track position. Maverick Morrow, 2 tires there. Everybody on back. Taylor Morgan's, David Day, Blake McCandless. Those guys have fresher tires than the 2 out front. What those 2 guys have critically right now is track position, but those 4 tires may be starting to come into play now, Todd. The 36 of Taylor Morgan's, he's applying heavy pressure to the 57 of Maverick Morrow. Taylor going to move down to the inside. That's a race for position down the front stretch.
Yeah, it's going to be a race for position. Hopefully Taylor Morgan's in the number 36 machine as we're down into turn number 3, off of turn number 4, down the front straightaway. Taylor Morgan's trying to make up some ground here on the 57 as Morrow looks like he got a little bit of bite coming off the exit of the corner. But Taylor Morgan's really good in the corner entry and center in that number 36 machine. As you see, he gains the most ground in the center of that corner, but not able to pull off quite as good as the 57 of Maverick Morrow. This time he's going to be able to do so. Not going to be able to go around the 57 this time, but he did have a better exit that time.
And I think Joe just kind of, said the key word here, trail braking. How much can trail braking help you at a place like Martinsville, Joe? For a guy like myself, not privy to it, not very good at it whatsoever, but at a place like a Martinsville, when you get to slow these things down, how much can trail braking help you here? And what kind of tips you got for guys like me out there who may want to try to learn how to do it effectively?
Yeah, trail braking, it's not an easy skill that you learn overnight by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, a guy like Maverick running up in the 2nd position now, Maverick has been very open and very vocal about how bad he thinks he is at trail braking, and he really doesn't use it. So really what it comes down to is preference. I know a guy like Derek Justice leading the race, he trail brakes, Taylor trail brakes, David Day trail brakes. I'm not sure if Blake McCandless does it or not. But, that's it comes down to driver preference. Some guys are better at it than others, and it takes a lot of practice because it involves really, aggressively attacking the entry of a corner here at a short track. And passively applying the brakes to slow the car down, but trying to carry as much momentum as you possibly can. And it's something that you don't learn overnight. And some guys are better at it than others, and some guys really don't need it. I mean, Maverick is up there running in the second position. He really doesn't trail brake at all, but then you have guys like Derek and David Day and Taylor Morgans that all, I mean, you can tell Taylor's trail braking just by the amount of a run he can pull going into the corner and the momentum he can carry through the center. But where you lose that, as we see on screen here, is off the corner. Guy like Maverick Morrow is able to put the power down off the corner there and allow it to stick, while Taylor has to back it up just a little bit because of the momentum that he carries through the center of the corner. So it depends on how you use it, and some people use it better than others, but it's not necessarily the best thing that you can use, and you know, it has its advantages and its weaknesses.
Oh, it certainly does. And it does great analysis right there, watching how these trucks reacted. One guy using that trail brake method, you can tell Maverick the way he was getting the run. That was just fantastic, Joe. That is why I call Joe Allen the best in the business when it comes to just the insight of what he can provide, you know, down there in the booth, and just a brief little stuff. But saw some good racing going on there, Todd, between a couple of orange trucks. David Day looks like he may have got his tires hot in the number 5. He had to surrender position to his teammate, the 66 of Blake Michaelis. Blake's starting to move on forward up there, put Blake up now to P4. David Day looks like that right front tire may be a bit hot. He's starting to skate back through his field a little bit.
Yeah, starting to skate back, and Blake McCandless is one of those guys that can save his tires really well. As meanwhile, up in that second spot, there was a battle there for that second spot. Taylor Morgans was up on the top side, not able to complete the pass on the 57 of Maverick Morrow, but Taylor Morgan's trying everything he can to get by the 57. 57 now drifts up the track just a little bit down into the corner here. The 36 of Maverick Morrow around.
Unfortunately, the 57 does go around. Got to put us on a caution flag for the 4th time tonight, just getting shy of the halfway mark. 78 of 175 up on the board, so tough break for the 57 of Maverick Morrow. Spins out of that second position. The question is now, was there contact? I didn't see a good look at it there, Joe, but I know you got the best look in the house, so show us what happened. Contact or not, what happened to Maverick?
Well, we saw Maverick looked like he lost a little bit of momentum off the corner. We'll back this up a little bit more for you guys. So coming off of turn 3 here, he looks like he may get up into the fence just a little bit, which is going to slow that momentum down just enough for Taylor Morgans to use that run off of turn 4 here, get himself position established on the inside as they race down into turn 1 here. And this is the difference in braking. Taylor is able to run that in a lot deeper in trail brake. Maverick up on the top side. Looks like he tries to give him enough room, but you know that middle to top groove can be real treacherous, and as Maverick continues to slide up the hill, the thing just continues to loop around on him right in front of the rest of the field. But luckily he keeps that thing pinned up there on the top. Everybody's able to get around him down on the bottom, and it took a little while for the lights to come on, the caution lights to actually come on the speedway before they finally put us under, I believe, our 4th or 5th caution here of the evening. So tough break for Maverick. He was out there on those 2 tires, I believe. He was one of the guys that took 2 tires, just trying to hang on and keep himself up there in the top 5, and just a costly mistake that's going to put him back in the back and fighting through traffic. We saw guys like Jason Justice and Matt Vassar that both ended up having to start from the rear here as well. And those guys barely just cracked the top 10 after arguably a 25 or close to a 25 lap run, I want to say is what it was. So it just goes to prove that this is not an easy track to pass at when you get put back there in traffic. You really have to be patient and get your way back up there. So it'll be interesting to see how long it takes a guy like Maverick Morrow to get himself back up towards the front half of this field when he has to restart from the tail end. Back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, and just watching these guys have a frantic sprint off of pit road. Everybody coming on and off. Looks like getting tires all amongst our race leaders, but staggered there by the number 10 of Matt Vassar. Had a great pit stop there aboard the 10. Question is, Todd, I'm going to have to go back and take a look at this. I'm not sure the 10 did not take 2 tires in this pit stop, because he had a really good stop and he beat all these guys out. I'm going to go back and try to rewatch that and see what happened there, but it looks like Matt Vassar has won the race off of pit road for all those guys that have come down.
Yeah, it's Frank Devins out there on the track, but he's going to relinquish the lead to Matt Vassar at number 10 as he comes down to service for his pit crew. So he just wanted to lead one of those laps here on the Full Velocity Network. Did Frank Devins? He did so. Now he relinquishes it to the number 10 of Matt Vassar. Vassar, good strategy call down on pit road again, I think, in that number 10 machine, Phil. Did you catch up with what he took?
He did. He took 2 tires on that number 10 machine. got stuck behind the 16 of Jason Justice on exit there, impeded the progress a little bit, but using that two-tire play, he's going to recycle out with the race lead. Taylor Morgan's a restart here in that second spot. Derek Justice, David Day. Looks like Frank Gibbons unofficially will call him the top 5, 6 through 10. Blake Michaelis, Brandon Lawson, David Schildhouse, Matt Watkins, and Jason Justice. That'll be your current top 10. Semi-rig on pit road there, Todd. We're going to await green flag racing. They're down the front straightaway. Green flag in hand and green flags up in the air.
Flagger waving the green flag down here into turn number 1. Taylor Morgan's good restart on the top shelf of the speedway. And that number 36 machine, Vassar, fighting back down on the inside. And that number 10 machine, 2 tires was the call on the 10, Phil said. He's down into the corner again, down into turn number 3. 36 of Taylor Morgan sideways there in the middle of the corner, but able to hold on to it all the way through. Morgan's trying to do everything he can to cut off the number 10 of Vassar so he can get back down to that bottom side. It's a helpless feeling if you're going to be stuck up top. You're going to waste those tires away, Phil.
No, you absolutely are, but if there's a guy that I don't want to see out front at Martinsville, just seeing the way that truck is reacting, I do not want the 36 of Taylor Morgan's out here. If I'm Matt Vassar, I am going to race him as absolutely hard as I can. I think Taylor Morgan's truck has a look, Todd. If that thing gets out front, he may start to drive away from his field, but he looks like he's going to have to relinquish that top position. Matt Vassar going to make the pass, and as we say that, 36 now going to try to dive to the low side. He'll dive bomb it in there. Looks like both of them going to make it stick with no contact. Great racing action here. Now they make contact on the front stretch. Vassar into the wall. Morgan's is loose. This is good racing, short track style at Martinsville.
Yeah, those guys slamming each other, banging each other, making a great racing down the back straightaway once again. Vassar right up next to the 36's door, Taylor Morgan's. Morgan's pulled a good high-low switch maneuver on Matt Vassar. Vassar going to have to relinquish the lead just a little bit. He might have burned up his tires just a little bit. Got him hot. And that number 10 machine is the 31 of Derek Justice down on the bottom. Taylor Morgan's out front, and that number 36 Pez Chevrolet able to pull away just a little bit. And that's one of those guys that you just don't want to get out front. That truck's been fast all evening long, and he's just been lurking. He's been waiting.
Now, he's been waiting through the first half of this race, and he will lead the half.com halfway leader or more here on lap number 88. But now caution flag on the speedway. Caution flag for the 5th time tonight, just now at the halfway mark, just as racing action was picking up here intensity all over the Martinsville Speedway. Not sure what happened there. Could have been issues, I believe, around the 83 of Noah Hart. Not exactly sure. Haven't been able to go on back and use my replay, but looks like that's where the caution flag may have come from there. So we'll let Joe get to work on that. Let him bring another full velocity rewind, and just as we set it up, he gives me the cue. He is ready to go. So Joe Allen, take it down away there in the full velocity control booth.
Yes, sir, guys. Just some problems around the 83 of Noah Hart. He just heads down into turn 3 here. And looks like he gets up in that slick stuff at the top of that concrete groove there. Isn't able to get it down to the bottom, and ends up looping that thing around all by himself. Looks like he slides up the hill and makes a little bit of contact with the wall. Nothing too serious there. He'll take that thing down pit road, get her turned around and repaired, and put some 4 fresh ones on it, and he'll start from the rear end of the field here and see if maybe he can make up a couple positions over the next couple of restarts we're probably bound to have here the rest of the evening. Back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, with everybody on the lead lap, I was hoping to maybe talk to somebody under this caution flag. I know the champ David Schildhouse certainly wanted to come up here and have a word with us, but just at the short tracks, Todd, I'm just so afraid with, how quick these laps even roll off under caution. I'm thinking that I just don't want to keep him up here too long to miss any command from race control. I'm really cognitive of that in the short tracks. I've seen us screw up guys' runs before, and I'm just so hesitant to do so here. So we'll see if we can't do it over the next caution flag. If we get a quick one here, and we'll get the replay out real fast, and we'll see if we can't get an extra lap or two that we can maybe pull one of these drivers up. I know the champ has requested. I know a lot of guys out there would love to come up and talk to us, and would love to see what's going on out there with these guys. Is restart time looking to be about a lap and a half away, and didn't see any of these leaders come onto pit road this time. So nobody up front really. So looking like these guys going to use the benefit of track position at the halfway point, and I kind of like what those guys have done.
Yeah, the only guy that came down on pit road was, I believe, the number 10 of Matt Vassar. He came down on pit road, but it's going to be interesting to see how it's going to play out. As now we got these guys, lights are still on atop the semi truck out there on the raceway. So Taylor Morgan's right now your current race leader, the number 36. The 31 of Derek Justice is second. Third is the number 5 of David Day. Fourth is David Schildhouse, so the David and David show in row number 2. That's going to be interesting. Jason Justice running fifth. Sixth is a 64 of Tony Robinson. Seventh is a 166 of Blake McCandless. Eighth is a 40 of Brandon Lawson, our pole sitter. Ninth is a 15 of Matt Watkins. Matt Vassar is 10th in the number 10. 11th is Corey Carpenter. 12th, the 53 of Justin Malello. 13th, the 57 of Maverick Morrow. 14th, the 121 of Steve Looney. 15th, the 26 of Grant Wesley. 16th, the 1 of Bobby Farrell. 17th, the 83 of Noah Hart. And 18th right now on the field is the number 9 of Frank Divens. All trucks still running here, Phil.
All trucks running, all on the lead lap, but just to update the number 9 of Frank Divens, as you said, currently 18th. He's one of those 8 guys coming in tonight in the XFM Elite 8 here in this the SRA Super Chase here. So Frank having a struggle at Martinsville may give up some precious points here tonight, but semi-rig on pit road. We're awaiting a green flag. Green flag is back in the air. Let's put this thing back under action here in turn 1. Taylor Morgan's with the race lead to the inside. Derek Justice to the outside. Who's it going to be off of turn 2? Looks like the 36 is going to break free.
That was no question. That was answered really quick. The 36, Taylor Morgan's to the lead. 31 of Derek Justice falls in line behind him. Number 5 of David Day running in that third spot. Heavy battle with the number 7 of David Schildhouse there for a little bit. Contact made to the outside wall towards the back. That's the 53 of Justin Malello. He's able to get it righted and still going. We're still clean and green down the back straightaway.
And down the back straightaway, everybody getting it pointed in the right direction, but now all chasing the 36 of Taylor Morgan's. Race for the 4th spot happening. David Schildhouse washed up the racetrack, opened the door for Jason Justice to the number 16 to pull to the inside. Could not make the run there. Jason getting hard on the brake pedal. That's allowed the 66 of McCandless into the picture. So those 3 trucks all racing now for that 4th spot toward turn 1.
Racing for that 4th spot, a heavy contested event here between the number 7 of David Justice down the front straightaway. The number 7 of David Schildhouse running up top. Justice running right behind him in that 5th spot.
Well, sorry about that, Todd. Didn't mean to talk over there in your ear there. Wasn't sure where you were going with the thought, but racing action going on inside the top 5. Hard off the outside wall there. Schildhouse is 7 up the hill. You know, as we've seen all night long here, Todd, these trucks are getting tight on exit. Once they get tight, I mean, there's really nothing else you can do. You let off the gas and they snap loose, or you're just going to push at the mercy and bounce off the outside wall. Thankfully, here it's a short track race. It's Martinsville. It's moderate damage. Contact on the outside wall with the right side may not hinder you so much here, but you know, nothing you really want to do, because you could really knock the bead off a right front tire and you could really hurt yourself here over the course of the long run. So you're going to hit the wall here. It's inevitable. You just don't want to do it too hard.
They definitely don't want to beat the right side off your truck, because right now these guys have been beating it pretty good coming off the corner with it drifting up the track just a little bit. Jason Justice, the 16 machine, did it once again off of turn number 4. Down into turn 1, he's trying to chase down David Schildhouse. Schildhouse running the bottom line, doing pretty good in that number 7 machine. So he's holding on to that 4th spot, about a truck length and a half in front of the 16. But the 16's got a good roll into the center of the corner. Schildhouse gets a little loose off turn number 4 down the front straightaway into turn number 1 already. So that's just how quick things happen here at Martinsville.
And speaking of things happening quick, we saw Maverick Morrow go around to get put back to the tail end of the field here a couple of laps ago when the 57 went around. We know Maverick's got a fast truck, but we've talked about how hard it is to pass here at Martinsville. The 57's progress, well, very little. He's mired all the way back there in the 12th position. He's just stuck there, Todd. The 57, we know Maverick's a short track guy. We know he gets around this place really well, but, you know, it seems like with the tighter conditions we got here tonight, looks like the racetrack has some pretty good grip in it. Maverick Morrow is stuck back there outside the top 10. I'm sure he is one frustrated driver back there, knowing he's in a really good piece.
Yeah, he's got to be frustrated. Just look at the different groupings around Martinsville, who, Phil, is. We usually see groupings around like super speedways like Talladega or Daytona. But we're looking at this first group. It's being led by, of course, Taylor Morgan's your race leader. 31 Derek Justice and David Day's kind of falling off it just a little bit there in that 3rd spot. Then you look at the 4th group. You got Schildhouse just a little bit ahead of the 166 of Blake McCandless. You got the 10 Matt Vassar, the 16 of Jason Justice, the 40 of Brandon Lawson, Matt Watkins right there, Corey Carpenter in the 30. He's right there. So these guys kind of splitting up into like groups, different types of groups around Martinsville. So that's interesting to see here at a short track.
Oh, it certainly is, but is it a product of those guys out there having clean air and just being respectful, and maybe these guys further on back, maybe racing a little bit harder, losing track position? What do you think, Joe? What do you think's attributing to those guys breaking up apart as it looks like that top three is pulled away? Is that clean air and those guys racing harder? That is a product of good short track racing.
Well, looking at the lap counter up at the top of the screen, we're under 70 laps to go. About 68 laps to go left in this race. 175 is the scheduled distance with the possibility of green-white checkers. And I believe we took this, the green flag, with around 80 laps to go, which would be stretching it on the very outside of their fuel window at the top of the show. If you paid attention to the infographic, the pit window is supposed to be right around 75 to 80 laps here is what these guys can make on a single tank of gas. So you may see some of these guys in the back saving a little bit of fuel, anticipating maybe this thing will end up going green to the finish. And if it does, fuel mileage could come into play here towards the end of this thing. So that could be a contributing factor to some of these guys that pitted this last time by under caution. The guys like Matt Vassar, like I believe Blake McCandless came down pit road. Some of these guys that have made their way back up into the top 10, they could be guys that have enough fuel to make it to the end. You could have some guys in the back like Maverick Morrow who maybe just not trying to pass a lot of trucks right now and more focused on saving fuel and maybe seeing if he can make it to the end and steal a win from some of these guys. So you could have a mixed strategy here. Tire wear definitely going to come into play here towards the end of this thing as well. But this is all contingent on this race going green to the end here and having no green-white checkers, because that'll foil all of these guys' plans moving forward.
Well, they absolutely will. But, Todd, I'm not sure if you're paying attention to the great racing going on for that fourth position. Matt Vassar was able to make his way around not only Blake McCandless, but David Schildhouse. Now McCandless and Blake, our two broadcast partners, they're having a hell of a race out there for that fifth spot. Right now, give it to McCandless, but Schildhouse, he was really giving him a dogfight on that outside. Those guys all making contact. Three trucks battling for position. It's all sorted out now, but for about 5 laps, that was pretty intense.
Yeah, Schildhouse lost a bunch of positions, though. Back behind Brandon Lawson now. As you're looking at Blake McCandless, he's running 5th. 6th, 7th, and 8th. So 8th position for the number 7 of David Schildhouse. So he lost 3 positions on that exchange there. So that's something. Maybe David Schildhouse has got something up his sleeve.
Well, and I think that's a pretty accurate statement there. Seeing David, he's run the outside of the racetrack a lot, so I'm starting to think that maybe he's letting it drive in and roll around off the high groove. Maybe some clutching going on there. I mean, shoot, if a guy knows how to play a strategy play, it is certainly David Schildhouse. So we'll keep the champ's progress updated. He slipped all the way back to 8th, but as Joe said, if these guys were to make it from here that had just come to pit road under the previous caution flag, you're going to have to stretch it all the way till the end of your fuel window, and you keep in the back of your mind the possibility of a green-white checker. But back up to the front, Taylor Morgan has had the lead. Derek Justice hasn't applied too much pressure. Well, about to these last 2 laps, 31 all over the back bumper of the 36 now as they exit turn number 2.
Yeah, Derek Justice has been all over the rear bumper of the 36 Pez Chevrolet of Taylor Morgan's. And I tell you what, that basket ride is forward's pretty quick here tonight. Looks like he's conserved a little bit more tires than Taylor Morgan's maybe in that number 31 machine. And it's going to be a dogfight between those two. David Day's right there. He's not that far behind. He's within the earshot, about 5 truck lengths behind the 31 of Derek Justice. So David Day not going away. But I don't think he has the speed that those top 2 guys have.
No, I don't think so either, but he certainly got a fast piece there. But yeah, I think you're right. I'm not sure he's got the speed to stay with those top 2. Maybe David, maybe one of those guys who's got a play strategy. Taylor Morgan's a little tad bit loose. The 31 of Justice to the inside. Don't think there was contact there. I think the 36 may have just wheel hopped there, but Taylor Morgan's nonetheless going to spin his way out of the race lead. Going to put us on a caution flag now for the 6th time tonight with now 118 laps going on the board. That's going to throw a lot of strategy out the window. The question is now, Todd, can anybody possibly gamble? Will anybody gamble on a 2-tire pit stop and maybe take that gamble of getting that clean air out front? I think it's a good time to try.
Yeah, definitely a good time to try one of those strategy calls. But I know Joe Allen ready down there in the broadcast trailer for our full velocity rewind. What happened there to Taylor Morgan's?
Yeah, thank you guys. We're going to back this up just a little bit down the front straightaway and show how this entire thing transpired. Taylor with the race lead heads down into turn 1 here, as you can see. Looks like he overshoots the corner, gets a little loose on the bottom. That sends Taylor all the way up the racetrack. Derek is able to get back into the throttle a lot sooner. As you can see, as we've said all night, that top side has just been very, very treacherous. Once you get yourself up there, very slick with all that burnt off rubber and debris that collects up there with these guys running predominantly down on the bottom. And Taylor just loses the rear end of the truck. It starts to go around, a little bit of contact with Derek Justice there. That continues to keep that spin cycle going for him. We'll back this up one more time just a little bit so we can see the rest of this. Looks like there was no contact involved in the initial spin. Looked like Derek might have actually helped Taylor save the truck just a little bit. If it would have been just a little bit of a better bump, Taylor stays matted in the throttle. I think if he would have gotten out of the gas there, he might have been able to keep that thing straight, and we might have kept this thing under green. So fortunately, Taylor spins himself out of the lead, guys, and that's going to put him all the way back on the tail end of the lead lap here with 17 trucks still on the lead lap. Very, very unfortunate for that 36 leading this race. Just past halfway here, guys. He's going to have to restart from the tail end of the field, and that could be very costly towards a chance of winning the race here towards the end of this thing. That'll be a story to keep up on as this race progresses down to its end. Back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, so just updating how everybody's coming on and off pit road there now after the replay. Looks like the 31 of Derek Justice going to win the race off of pit road amongst our leaders. David Day right behind him. Good pit stop for the 64 of Toby Robertson there, Todd. Thinking he may have been one of those guys who's gambled on a 2-tire play. I'll have to go back and take a look at that. Yes, indeed, Toby only taking 2 tires. He's going to come out of the pits third in line, but developing story here, the 166 of Blake McCandless, he is elected to stay out. He may be thinking, I could probably save enough fuel from here. The question is he going to have those tires? We know how critical track position here is tonight. What a good time to gamble.
Had definitely a good time to gamble as he's you could hear him on and off the clutch with that 166 machine trying to save fuel. So I think he's trying to make his bed. He's not going down on the pit road. So he's pretty much made his bed here and gonna try to stretch it here and be able to work over the bottom. He does have the bottom side right now, the 166 of Blake McCandless. So the lights are out atop our pace vehicle. We're gonna have to see what's gonna happen with Blake McCandless, that 166 machine.
He'll restart on the inside lane. Derek Justice will be to the outside. Row 2 will find David Day, Toby Robertson, Matt Vassar, Brandon Lawson. Row 3, David Schildhouse, Jason Justice. Row 4, running out our top 10, Matt Watkins, Maverick Morrow. That's going to be your top 10 awaiting the restart. Green flag back in the air.
Green flag back in the air. Who's going to lead the charge down here into turn number 1? The 166 of Blake McCandless has the lead just a little bit. The 31 of Derek Justice fighting back on the outside of Blake. Let's see what the old tires versus new tires scenario is going to play out here down into turn number 3. So far, still side by side. The 166 and the 31 of Derek Justice off of turn number 4. Blake McCandless gets a tad bit loose and give Derek Justice the lead.
Justice up to the lead. McCandless on back to second. Blake may fall to the clutches of the 5 of David Day. 5 going to look to the low side. Not sure he's going to put the race on for position when they hit turn number 3. Also right there in the fray is the 10 of Matt Vassar. He's looking for anyone around there. Those guys all sorted out nose to tail. A little bit of bumper tag there as they work their way down the front stretch toward turn 1.
And now David Day down to the bottom side. He's going to make short work of Blake McCandless. McCandless up and out of the groove in that 166 machine. Here comes Matt Vassar. He's down to the bottom side. And that number 10 machine is down into turn number 3. Looks like Vassar has the advantage. Blake McCandless a little bit sideways. He's going to lose that position rather easily to that number 10 machine of Matt Vassar.
Yeah, we know all those guys got 4 tires. I'm anxious to see how it plays out for guys like Toby Robertson who have 2 tires out there, as Blake did not come into pit road on this last caution flag. But Blake up there, he's going to maintain 4th. Toby back there in 5th. Look at the run the 31 of Justice has there, Todd. He's able to pull away almost to a full even second last time around. And now we got one in the inside wall. Was that the 53 of Jason Justice there in the inside wall? Then there's 16, Todd. Yellow flag on the speedway.
Jason Justice into the inside wall there, and I don't know if something happened to him. I believe it shouldn't bring out yellow flag. Yes, indeed it does. Yellow flag here once again at the Martinsville Speedway, and Joe is already ready with the full velocity rewind. Joe, take it away down there.
Yeah, thank you guys. As you said it, we're going to focus on the 16 of Jason Justice in a heavy battle with the 7 of David Schildhouse there, running around for that sixth or 7th position. But as you see this, Schildhouse in the 7 hops the curb. Jason tries to angle that thing down to the bottom. He gets a run, and it looks like as he comes up, tries to get up on that left rear quarter panel of the 7. We'll back that up real quick, and David Schildhouse just gets up into the fence off the corner, ends up shooting that truck back down into Jason as they come together there, and that's going to spin Jason Justice down to the inside on the front straightaway. Looks like he backs that thing into the fence down there on the bottom of the front straightaway. He'll have to come down, repair some of that damage, put 4 fresh tires on it, and once again, Jason Justice, guys, is going to have to start from the rear of this field. Costly mistake for a guy running for a championship here so late in the going of this race. But one thing we can note here, guys, it looks like we've gotten to that point now where cautions are continuing to breed cautions, so I'm sure this race is far from over. We got a long ways to go, and some more interesting battles that I'm sure we have to look forward to here between our leaders. We got hungry guys like Matt Vassar, David Day, Derek Justice up front. Toby Robertson has cracked the top 5 with those 2 tires. We know he's an aggressive, hungry driver. So we got some guys looking for a win up there. It's far from over, and it's going to be an exciting end of this race coming up here. Back up to you guys in the booth.
It's going to be an exciting 45 laps indeed there, Joe, and I can't wait to see where it's going to go. But, you know, Joe, you said championship, and if you're going to talk about a championship, you got to talk to the champ. So for the first time tonight, we get the chance to interview one of these drivers, and let's talk to our buddy, the champ, David Schildhouse. David, Phil from FVN, buddy. I know you got yours on. What's going on there, brother?
Good evening, FVN family. How are we doing?
We're doing outstanding out here. It's been kind of an up and down kind of night for you. You've had the sheet metal tore up in that thing a little bit. You've been at the back. You've been up near the front. How's that, that number 7 out there treating you this evening?
I feel like I'm piloting a big shiny pinball out here at the Martinsville Speedway. So, yeah, it's a tough track, and we got a lot of aggressive drivers and skilled guys, and it's just a recipe for beating and banging, and that's what you're seeing tonight. So, not surprised. It's not one of my favorite tracks, I'll tell you that much, but if anything, it's going to be a really exciting last 40 to 50 laps here.
What do you think we can expect to see through these last 40 laps? So are we going to see more of the same like we've seen here, some quick caution flags? Or do you think there's any possibility at all we can get a decent green flag run and maybe see who's got the better truck in the long run when we get to the end of this thing?
Well, that's up to the guys holding the steering wheel, and if my past experience tells me anything, we're not done seeing that yellow flag displayed or that pace vehicle on the track. So I would love to see some green flag racing, but it's hard to pass anyway, so I'm not sure green flag racing would do much for us anyways, but nobody wants to run under yellow, so hopefully we can get it figured out and go green.
Well, absolutely. Well, you're one of the 8 drivers in here, the XFM Elite 8, running for this Super Chase Championship, man. Martinsville's a tough place. I mean, you look around you see the competition out here tonight. I mean, it's got to be go out there and attack the racetrack and, be cognitive of who's around you and try to pick up every point and position you possibly can, I would assume.
Yeah, you're definitely watching the scoreboard a little bit. It's not a huge field, so you kind of keep tabs on where everybody is as it is because you can pretty much see them. So, it's if a chase driver wins, it's really good for them. I think there's a couple of guys who can spoil that aren't in the chase and win tonight, like Matt Vassar in that 10 truck. So keep an eye on him. He's an exciting guy to watch go around here. But it's just one of those 3 races in this round, and for me, probably my weakest of the 3. So I'm looking forward to Texas next week. That's where my sights are set.
All right, brother. As always, thanks again for a couple of words, champ. I know you who wanted to come up here tonight and just kind of shoot the breeze with us, but you guys are getting back ready to go here. Little 40-lap shootout to the end. Keep that thing straight, brother, and give it hell out there. We're rooting for you.
Well, if nothing else, it'll be fun. So keep an eye on the 7, and let's have a good race to the end, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Our buddy, the champ, David Schildhouse, will let him get back in to the race channel, get all sorted out. But, I love the confidence that guy exudes there, Todd, knowing he's had a rough night of it. Just going to try to keep that smile on his face as he normally does, and we'll see where he rounds up. As we're winning green flag racing, green flag back in the air. 31 of Derek Justice going to reassume the lead.
Yeah, 31 of Derek Justice going to reassume the lead down here into turn number 1. 31, the 5 of David Day on the outside, the 10 of Matt Vassar. They all settle into line rather quickly here. The top 3, they're single file down into turn number 3 and off of turn number 4. Nobody really challenging here for the top 3.
Well, a good battle on the racetrack is for that 4th spot. Brandon Lawson has moved his white Dodge to the inside of a 64 of Toby Robertson. Toby going to surrender that position to the outside. Move Brandon Lawson forward. We know he's fast. He had the pole here earlier tonight. Also moving his way back now to the top 5, that number 57 of Maverick Morrow. Any surprise whatsoever to see a guy like Maverick, who may be in contention at the end of a Martinsville race. He's rebounded nicely. He's back up in the 5th spot, and he's going to try to follow Brandon forward as they're starting to chase down that top 3.
Yeah, indeed they are starting to chase down the top 3, and I believe yellow flag going to fly once again. Not sure what happened this time about, and we're going to have to wait and see if we can pick that one up. Maybe somewhere around the 83 machine. It is indeed around the 83 of Noah Hart and Mr. Joe Allen, Joey the Jet, already ready with our full velocity rewind. Take it away.
Thank you, guys. I didn't see anything with the 83. I'll have to go back and look at that just to be sure, but what I see here, Blake McCandless in the 66, getting into the back of the 30 of Corey Carpenter. Anybody that's familiar with this series knows that these guys have a history with one another, so this is this could definitely be a problemsome area that we're seeing here. Blake just overshoots the corner there and runs right into the back of the 30 of Corey Carpenter, spins him around. That'll put us under our caution here as the laps continue to wind down. That could be very detrimental to some of those guys. Both those guys running for a championship here. They're part of the XFM Elite 8, so that's definitely going to hurt their chances. Move Blake to the rear of the field. Corey's going to join him back there just by virtue of probably having to go down pit road to take tires. So that could be a developing story as we continue on through the end of this race. It is Martinsville. Payback is definitely a thing that you could see here, so I wouldn't be surprised to see if this story isn't done telling itself and writing itself just yet. Back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, so under the caution flag, I believe this would be number 8 now here as we have 139, put 140 up on the board, has hit the line. So we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here at the end of this thing, but let's see if we can't grab another driver through a quick caution flag. Let's see, we're going to let Todd interview. Let's talk to Brandon Lawson, Todd. What do you think? We'll talk to Brandon here in a little while. Let's see if we can't talk to the driver of the 40. See if we get him screened out, move him around. I think there we go. There it is, Todd. I'll throw it over to you. See if we can't catch up with that driver of the 40 there, Todd.
Yeah, Brandon Lawson, this is Todd up here in the Full Velocity Network booth. Do you got a copy?
Oh, I got you guys loud and clear.
Brandon, haven't talked to you in a while here on the Full Velocity Network. You started out on the pole. You've been up and down. You've seen the middle part of this pack. You've seen the back of the pack. How's the racing going out there?
No, it's very fun, very aggressive racing. Track position is just very important, so you gotta see. You probably already saw these restarts have been very aggressive. Once we go green, you know, it kind of spreads out, but it's just so hard to pass. So, I mean, that's all I got pretty much to say about the racing. It's just really hard to pass. Once we go green, it loosens up a little bit coming off the corner. Hard to get a run at Martinsville off the corner, so it's definitely hard to pass. Restarts are the most important thing in this race.
Yeah, you kind of stole my thunder there. Just seeing where you have to make up your most ground is the restarts, or do you have to make it up on pit road? I mean, I can see it's real tough to pass out there, Brandon.
Oh yeah, you got to make it up on pit road. You got to have good pit stops and good strategy to get up front here.
Well, lights are out, Brandon. I'm going to let you get back to racing. Thank whoever you'd like to thank here real quick here at the Full Velocity Network before you go green.
I just want to thank my parents for watching and thank my sponsors and everybody else. So get ready to go green. Let's do this.
All right, Brandon Lawson, he's excited there. I love hearing the excitement in his voice. I'm excited here, Todd. I can't wait to see what these last 30 laps are going to take us. 142 laps on the board. Pace vehicle is in. We're getting back to green flag racing. Put it back in the control of Derek Justice and David Day on the front row. Green flags up in the air.
And green flags up in the air. 31 of Derek Justice leads the charge down into turn number 1. Off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Oh, faster. A little bit looser in that third spot, but still side-by-side battle for the lead is David Day up on the top side. He's trying to make something happen. Trying to get around Derek Justice. Justice drifts up the track just a little bit, trying to take the momentum away from David Day. Not able to do so that time by David Day and Justice still side by side through 1 and 2.
Yeah, and Vassar's just kind of waiting to see where that line is going to prevail. He peaks up to the high side. He'll peak to the low side. But what's that's also doing, that's allowing the 57 of Maverick Morrow to the picture. Vassar getting a little bit loose. Put the 57 to the low side. Maverick Morrow, he's up the 4th, Todd. He's looking to make a move on that top 3. We know he's going to fast piece. He's going to definitely be a contender before this thing is done.
Yeah, definitely going to be a contender is Maverick Moore in that 57 machine. I was looking at David Day as he was trying to run the top side. I thought he was going around there at the top side as the number 5 machine got completely sideways, used the wall to correct himself, and he bounces off the wall once again, the number 5 machine. That can't be good for the right side of that number 5 truck.
No, not at all. Definitely going to wrinkle it up for sure. Looking for room, also looking for room there is the 10 of Matt Vassar, but he also bounced it off the wall. That's allowed the 31 of Derek Justice to peek away a little bit. Derek, he's the only driver in the top 3 that's racing for a championship. He wants to stake his claim to victory lane. He wants to, skip out on Texas and Phoenix. He wants to go all the way to Homestead, race for a championship. In order to do that here tonight, Todd, he's going to go to victory lane, but he's got 2 really quality drivers behind him. I mean, you look all the way back, you find Maverick 4th, Brandon 5th. Justin Malello's rebounded up to the 6th spot. So, I mean, this race can still truly be won from anywhere. One guy who's not going to go to victory lane tonight, we can update the 16 of Jason Justice. He's pulled the Bud Light Ford behind the wall. Jason, one of those guys racing for a championship. He's going to finish up 17th tonight. Tough break for Jason Justice.
Yeah, he falls victim to the rules of a 2-park scenario for the number 16. And that's not normal of Jason Justice, as he's normally, it's very seldom that you see him cause 1 yellow. 2 yellows is once in a lifetime.
Well, it's a product of really good hard racing here every Wednesday night in the 7-Eleven Super Truck Series. Race number 33 of the season going on here, the Lucas Oil 175 at the Martinsville Speedway. Thanks, everybody in YouTube land for tuning in. Phil LeCast, Todd Stanton, Joe Allen on the call here, as always, for Full Velocity. 150 laps up on the board. So we got a good old-fashioned Wednesday night 25-lap shootout. Can anybody make something happen and make the move around the 31 of Derek Justice? Well, he's got hungry contenders behind him. But so far, so good for the 31. We hit the line, Todd. 151 laps up on the board.
Yeah, putting 150 laps up on the board. The Wacky and Wild Wednesday Super Truck Series, the 7-Eleven Super Truck Series here tonight. About 25 laps to go. The 31 of Derek Justice still leading this event. The 5 of David Day right there, about truck length and a half. David Day's got a mirror full, though, of that number 10 machine of Matt Vassar. Vassar's been strong all evening long. The 57 of Maverick Morrow and the 40 of Brandon Lawson. Those guys pretty much got a breakaway on the rest of the field right now. Yeah,
they have. They pulled away. Has the top 5. They got a full 2-second gap between 5th place Brandon Lawson and 6th place Justin Malello. He's got Matt Watkins out behind him. David Schildhauer safe. Taylor Morgan's just rebounded up to 9th spot. And Corey Carpenter now, he is running 10th. So just to update what's going on with the 30 after that contact. They're back in the top 10, but the story is up front as laps continue to whittle on down here. It is the 31 of Derek Justice in the lead, but it's right there 2 car lengths back to David Day. Matt Vassar getting really loose, Todd. He'll bounce off the outside wall, putting out Maverick Morrow up to 3rd as a battle for the lead for the first time here in the turn 3.
Yeah, David Day down to the bottom side in the number 5 machine, side by side down the back, straight away. Derek Justice got the advantage once again, but he's given that bottom line to the number 5 of David Day. Justice able to get up top, and the number 5 of David Day still side by side down the front straightaway. We got 20 laps just about to go here, and this is starting to heat up really, really fast. The 5 of David Day just got a little bit of an advantage on the 31 of Derek Justice down the back straightaway, but Justice now has the advantage going to turn 3.
Yeah, he's got that peak out advantage. What he doesn't have is that preferred line is the 5 trying to slide up, use all the racetrack he can for 31 up there. He just can't do it. But what that has done, that's allowed the 57 of Maverick Morrow. He's close right in on the bumper of both these guys racing for the lead. Day down low, Justice up high. Orange versus pink up there on the high lane. Little bit of contact there. Justice gets to run. Day trying to do all he can. These guys have been side by side for a good 4 laps now. What an awesome race we have here with under 20 laps remaining.
Yeah, fantastic show that these guys are putting on. Look at Lawson. He's into the battle. Look at Matt Vassar. He's right there. Yellow flag's out. The battle is kind of not going to heat up right now, Phil. That was getting interesting, and yellow flag, yellow fever, going to cause that little battle to come to an end.
Oh, it certainly does, and have to sort out who it's got with the lead here. It looks like Derek Justice may have been the leader when the yellow flag came out, so that may be his best friend at all, is having that lead position on the restart. But with 158 laps on the board, laps starting to whittle down, caution flag number 9 of the evening. Joe Allen, feel like you've been a busy guy down there tonight, and you're ready once again with a Full Velocity Rewind.
Yes, sir, guys. Another edition of Full Velocity Rewind here tonight. This is typical of Martinsville. You expect to see the cautions that we see tonight. That's short track race, and that's what we come here for. That's what makes the fans happy. Focusing on the 64 Toby Robertson, the 9 of Frank Divins. These guys running well off the pace behind the pack here. Just looks like Frank dives it in there and just sails it into the rear end of the 64 in the middle of turns 3 and 4 here, and that loops Toby Robertson around. I believe that might be Frank's second caution of the night. He might fall victim to that 2 park rule as well. Unfortunate circumstance for that number 9. Another guy battling for a championship here. He made it through the XFM round of 8. The only guy in the round of 8, I believe, Phil, if you can quote me on this, that does not have a win so far this season. So he has made it merely on points, and this is going to be a tough one for him if he indeed has to park this thing by the end of this night. So tough break for both of these guys, but that is our caution for, or I believe our 10th or so caution of the evening. Don't quote me on that, but back up to you guys in the booth. We're going to have an exciting finish here between our top 2 runners right now, David Day and Derek Justice. Back up to you guys.
We certainly are in 9th caution, 10th caution flag. I threw my scorecard out the window a long time ago. We're enjoying short track racing at its finest, hanging out with the guys inside the Sim Racing Association tonight. Hope you guys are all enjoying the show here live on Full Velocity. If you'd like to showcase your league here on FEN, head over to the website, fullvelocitynetwork.com. Book your date now. Dates are filled up really, really fast doing NR 2003, doing a whole lot more of iRacing. We're so busy right now. We'd love to showcase more. So if you've got a date you'd love to see live on our airwaves, head over to our website, fullvelocitynetwork.com. Put that broadcast request in now. No league too big or too small, and we'll showcase all the great racing got going on all over the airwaves here. And we'd love to bring it to you as we're awaiting lights to go out atop the Full Velocity semi truck here as they head down the back straightaway here, hoping the lights go out next time around. The question is, Todd, who's it going to be up in the front here? Is it going to be a guy like Derek Justice with the lead? Is it going to be Mr. Excitement David Day just trying all he can to pick up a win here tonight? How about row 2? You find Maverick Morrow. Justin Malello has rebounded with a really good run. He is up to 4th. How about the champ David Schildhaus? Currently, it could probably be won from anywhere inside these top 5 or 6 rows right now. You know, it may not seem like a lot. We're going to have about 15, a little less than 15 laps remaining on the restart, but if things haven't gone up in intensity, I think we're about to pick up to a whole different level.
Yeah, definitely going to pick up to a whole different level. I do believe you're going to see some bumpers. You're going to see aggressiveness drivers, even more aggressiveness. So you're going to see some very, very upset guys because the bumpers are going to be used. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens. Pace vehicle pulled down to pit road. Green flag is in the air. That was a quicker green flag that time. Going down into turn number 1 already. Side-by-side battle with David Day in the 31 of Derek Justice. And it looks like David Day has the preferred group coming off the corner, but they're still side-by-side.
They are still side-by-side for the lead into turn 3. Day washing up the racetrack a little bit. Got a tad bit loose. That little tail whip may have just been enough to give him the lead, but now yellow flag on the speedway once again. Yellow flag here is we're going to put 10 laps remaining on the board. These guys not ready to race back here yet. We are not quite under 10 to go, but that's just going to turn the excitement level up to just a whole nother wick here. And now also looms that possibility, Todd, here with maybe another quick caution flag in a few laps. That the prospects of a green-white checker, you know, those may be, you know, that prospect may be picking up here is, you know, just the intensity level, the excitement, and the level of racing has increased here in these last couple of laps. But we'll get to that here in a minute. Joe is ready with the replay. Show us what happened here, Joe. I haven't going to look at it either, so you're going to show it to us for the first time.
Oh yeah, guys, this is what we call a product of guys with fresh tires racing against guys with 35, 40 lap old tires, and we're going to focus on the 10 of Matt Vassar. He is in the middle of 3 wide down the back straightaway, and we are going to look at the 30 of Corey Carpenter. As they go down in here into turn 3, David Schildhaus really locks up the tires there. Matt Vassar comes through here. He's in 3 wide. He's got Taylor Morgan's all over his bumper. Looks like Taylor actually gets into the back of Matt Vassar there. Sends him straight up into the 30 of Corey Carpenter. Corey just a pinball tonight. Very unfortunate for that 30. Battling for a championship out there. He just can't seem to miss any of the wrecks. He's been wrecked twice now tonight. Very unfortunate for that 30 machine. Unfortunate for the 10 of Matt Vassar and, you know, Taylor Morgan's on the 36. These guys that restarted mired back outside the top 10 on fresh tires, really having to make some daring moves to get themselves back up into contention to win this thing with not a lot of laps to go here. And as we continue to close in, under 10 laps to go remaining in this race, we're closing in on having to use some overtime, some of those green-white checkered finishes, if these guys can't keep this thing under green towards the end. So it's been exciting so far, guys, but it's only starting. We got a long ways to go here, and the excitement level continues to raise, and I think a full velocity finish here is in order. These guys are going to put on a great show, hopefully, to end this thing out. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Well, these guys have delivered all year long. I believe we've done 7 of these races so far here in 2017, and we got 2 more after tonight. We can't wait to showcase where all this great racing is going to take us over the next couple of weeks. So, you know, going to be a good show here. Is 167 laps on the board. I believe, Todd, we may be having one to go here. Are we going to restart this time around?
I'm not sure. We'll have to, if anything is right. Usually the pace lights go out, but we'll have to see if the pace car or pace truck driver stays out there. They are now indeed out. So yeah, that's the call. We're going to go back to green flag racing this time by. So 1 more lap, we'll be getting that green flag. So we'll be getting we'll complete lap 168. We'll be on 1 lap 169 there. So we got about 7 laps to go, 6 laps to go. Excuse me, after we take that green flag.
Yeah, and you start to think, I know the chat box starting to light up with this prospect. The thought of green-white checker has entered everyone's mind right now. So we'll have to see what happens. Semi-rig is in. We're going to turn the field back over to David Day. Derek Justice on the front row, waiting a green flag. Green flag up in the air. 6-lap shootout, Todd. Who is it going to be? They're racing down to the turn 1.
Oh, contact made again with the 3 wide battle here through 1 and 2 off of turn number 2. Oh, Justin Malello. Oh, parking lot out of 2 and down the back straightaway. Parking lot, Phil.
Parking lot, and they're going to race back to the caution flag, I believe. And it is getting hairy off of turn 4. The 57 now going around as they are racing back. Parking lot now, more contact off of turn 4. Man, Joe's going to have a couple of different things to show in this replay. He is going to be a busy guy, but caution flag on the speedway, and look at the lap counter there, Todd. Admins may have a lot to sort out here. The prospect of a green-white checker finish, well, I think that became reality about right now.
Yeah, the admin's going to definitely have a lot. There's a lot of secondary incidents, a lot of 3 incidents there, but I'm going to throw it down to Joe Allen. Joe, that's going to be a busy place down there. A lot of different ones to show.
Oh yeah, guys, we're gonna have a couple things to show here. We got a parking lot off of turn 2 that we're gonna look at, and then a great battle down into turn 3 and turn 4, racing back to the caution, and some more trouble down there. So we'll focus on the first accident. You see David Day locks it up going down into turn 1, shoves Derek Justice up the hill. Maverick Morrow down there, 3 wide on the bottom here. But we're gonna look back just a couple spots to the 53. They are 4 wide through turns 1 and 2 right here, guys. Brandon Lawson on the bottom. 15 of Matt Watkins, the 7 of David Schildhouse is in it, the 53 right there, Justin Malillo is in it, the 36 of Taylor Morgans is in it, Steve Looney in the 121 is in it, Matt Vassar in the 10 is in it, Frank Divins just gets around it, the 83 of Noah Hart gets around it. That's a big crash in the back, guys. We're going to move up to the front here as they battle into turn 3 right here. We're now going to focus our attention on the 57 of Maverick Morrow. David Day slides back up the hill, gets into the door of the 31 of Derek Justice. The 40 of Brandon Lawson somehow keeps going after the first wreck. Blake McCandless starts to come down the hill here. Maverick bounces it off the curve, spins himself, gets some help from the 40 of Brandon Lawson. Brandon ends up tagging that. He gets spun around from the 64 of Toby Robertson. So we got accidents all over the place. Guys racing back. They know green-white checkered is coming here with how many laps we had left in the event. If you thought it was exciting then, guys, green-white checkered attempt number 1 is coming out. So I will take a quick second to explain how this works. As many of you are familiar with the current green-white checkered rules in NASCAR, that is not what these guys use here. They use the old traditional system, the 3 attempts at a green-white checkered. They will take the green flag here. If they make it back around and take the white flag, that next flag will end the race, regardless if it is a caution or if it is the checkered flag. If a caution comes out during the first lap of green before the leader takes the white flag, they will take the caution, they will restack them, they will get themselves lined back up, and they will try it again for a second try. They have up to 3 attempts at a green-white checker to try and finish this thing under green flag conditions. If the caution comes out in the opportunity that they are in a third green-white checker, that will end the race under caution, and the winner will be selected from whoever is leading at the point of the next flag. So, Todd, Phil, we are certainly in for an exciting finish coming up here. David Day and Derek Justice have been just laying all over one another, and I think it's going to be an interesting one here coming up here over the next couple of laps. Back up to you guys.
All right, so it's going to be Derek Justice, David Day on the restart here. Green-white checker here to settle this one tonight on the Full Velocity Network off of turn number 4. Baskin-Robbins Ford on the gas pedal. Green flag back in the air.
Green flag back in there. These guys battling down into turn number 1, just waiting to see what's going to happen here. Oh, Brandon Lawson down there in the grass. I think he hit the inside wall. Not sure if that brought out a yellow flag, but good battle going up front there. Looks like Derek Justice is going to be able to slow. He's drifting up the track, used another move there on the number 5 there. I believe it's going to be a white flag this time.
White flag in the air for the number 31 of Derek Justice. He'll try to make the maneuver off of turn number 2. David Day in his tire tracks. Good battle for third. Frank Divins at 9. He is around the McCandless machine as they hit turn number 3 and 4. I believe checkered flag going to be in the air this time.
There's going to be checkered flag. It looks like Derek Justice going to take home the win, I believe. As now we have the 15. A walk-ins around hard. We have 31 of Derek Justice, the 5 of David Day. Looks like Frank Divins going to squeak it out into third in that number 9 machine.
Yeah, if Mr. Where Did He Come From ends up on the podium here tonight, just use track position, got by all the wrecks here in the late going, and how about the run for that Napa Ford? The number 9 of Frank Divins going to finish up on the podium. Joe said the only guy in the XFM Elite 8 without a win. If you're going to win a championship, one way to do it is be consistent with good finishes. Frank Divins did exactly that tonight, Todd. He brings it home in the 3rd spot, but going to say, Derek Justice, he had that track position, had that in a leader position, I think, which was so critical in these last couple of laps, and that allowed him to drive off almost unchallenged here to victory lane here tonight.
Yeah, and that's it was interesting to see this all happen here this evening and everything, and I'm sure there's some pretty angry drivers, as I know Lawson out with an accident in 14th position. He's another one of those guys that was in the championship. You have Maverick Morrow, who was in it. Jason Justice, who was in the championship hunt. Those guys finishing way down. Even David Schellhaus, 12th. That's not good for his championship hopes here early. So these guys starting the cellar to begin with here going into the next 2 races. That's not where they wanted to start.
No, not whatsoever. But we'll move on to the Full Velocity post-race show here. The Lucas Oil 175 presented by Fury Motorsports. The checkered flag tonight belongs to number 31 Baskin-Robbins Ford of Derek Justice. Not only going to pick up the win here, the checkered flag, he's going to punch his ticket on to championship night here in a couple of weeks at Homestead. So I'm sure he's going to be thoroughly happy with that. David Day going to finish up in that 2nd spot tonight. But how about the run for the 3rd place runner there, Todd Stanton? Mr. Frank Divins brings the Extreme Motorsports Napa Ford home in that 3rd spot, and he's going to be really, really happy, Todd, with that run. I'll throw it down to you. I think you'll catch up with Frank Divins. He's got to be really ecstatic having a 3rd place finish.
Yeah, one of these times, Frank, we haven't talked to you in a very, very long time, and I get a chance to talk to you myself. Frank, bringing home a 3rd place finish. Where'd you come from here tonight?
I came from about 18th with 2 yellows to go. And that big one, the yellow before last, I passed. It must have been about 8 or 10 cars, it seems like. And then I raced Toby back to the line, and I think getting that position on the inside of him helped me. And then the guys in front of me were on older tires. I was surprised I was able to get by Matt and Blake to finish 3rd.
Well, 3rd place finish here. This is good. This is good for your championship implications here, Frank. A good, solid 3rd place finish. You haven't had a win all season, but you're one of those guys that's in the XFM 8, and you've able to not win all season, but you're able to hang around and actually have these good finishes.
Yeah, I was actually shocked. I was hoping just to get into a top 10 tonight. I know these guys are tough on these short tracks. They dive it in there pretty hard. I'm not like that. I figured if I could finish top 10, I'd be good. But my goodness, the 3rd, I wasn't really expecting that at all.
Oh, Frank, congratulations on your 3rd place finish tonight. And like I said, where'd you come from? A 3rd place finish, that's fantastic here this evening. By the way, your microphone, the floor is all yours. It's been a while since you've been on here on TV. Thank you, whoever you'd like to thank.
Yeah, it has been a while, hasn't it? Well, of course, I want to thank everybody at Extreme Motorsports as well. And I want to invite everybody over to Extreme tomorrow night. We got the prelude to the SRA DraftKings Midnight Series. The Midnight Series is starting up their segment 2. And prelude will be starting up tomorrow. We'll be at Tally 27 SRA. And come on by and shake it down, and let's get a good race in for Friday night. And I appreciate everything y'all are doing.
Again, that's the driver of the number 9, Frank Devens, bringing home 3rd place here tonight. If you don't have anything going on tomorrow night, that's a fantastic league to go get involved with, Extreme Motorsports, and it's a prelude to the SRA DraftKings series. So go ahead and hit them up tomorrow night.
Thanks a lot.
All right, that's our runner-up finisher, 3rd place finisher, rather, the number 9 of Frank Divens. I'm going to see if we can't. I'll see if I can't run down here and catch up with the number 5, Mr. Excitement, David Day. I think he's getting ready to throw a T-Rex costume on. But David, man, what a hell of a run. You finished up 2nd spot tonight. But, man, tell us about those closing laps. You and Derek really raced the heck out of each other there through those last couple of stages.
Oh, it was insane. I actually had fun tonight. So thanks to Derek for running me as hard as he did and not complaining about it. It was fun. But yeah, the second to last restart we had there was, I went into the corner and it didn't go into gear. I missed the shift and I was running in neutral. That's why I went up into him, and I'm pretty sure that's why chaos ensued.
Well, it's such a tough place to pass here as Martinsville, being a low lane kind of racetrack, single groove. You get spread out, really tough to pass. So restarts tonight were definitely at a premium. How much of was it to be the benefit to have the restart on the inside lane? Now you had the lead with less than 10 laps to go, but you lost it there in that last caution flag to Derek. How much do you think that that may have hurt your chances allowing him to restart on the inside there in that last restart?
We were on like 20 lap or plus old tires, so that was kind of a big deal. When we had newer type tires, I actually preferred the outside line because everybody would stack up and you can actually make it stick. So, I goofed up the restart before and he deserved the spot, so we just tried to race it out at the end.
Well, brother, I know you're going to go out there and party as you always do. You get to hang out with a 2nd place finish tonight, but it's been a while since we talked to you here on the airwaves. So one more time, give a shout to all your family, your friends, your sponsors. I know a lot of people tune in to watch Mr. Excitement tonight, though. To give a shout out to all of them now.
Yeah, just shout out to everybody from my stream. Sorry those guys that actually went down. We were having issues with internet all night. And shout out to 3 Unit, Crush. My Team Crush is we're doing pretty good. And hopefully we'll be getting into the dirt stuff soon. And pretty excited for that. A lot of stuff coming up. So shout out to all those guys. And yeah, thanks for you guys for putting on the show as always. Always awesome.
All right, brother. Well, good to talk to you once again. Mr. Excitement, David Day on the podium here tonight in the runner-up spot. But I'm going to throw it down to victory lane. I know Joe Allen is down there. And Joe, you're going to have one very happy and excited driver, Mr. Derek Justice. He gets to go race on at Homestead for a championship. I'm sure he's going to be elated to take care of that tonight in Martinsville.
Yeah, down here with Derek Justice, guys. I don't think anybody could be happier than Derek Justice is right now in Martinsville. Always a threat to come out here and win, Derek. And, man, tell us about those last 25 or so laps. The battle from up in the booth was exciting to watch. Tell us how it was on the racetrack between you and David Day.
Well, I know me and David Day race each other really hard. We do beat and bang on each other, but, we just, just blow it off and keep on racing hard. That's how me and David Day respect each other there. Some people just can't handle contact from another driver. Me, I can handle contact from pretty much from anybody, and and they get the same respect back. But it's a hard racing respect. So but yeah, my day was a roller coaster. I get behind the 8-ball early. Just got the curb a little bit coming out turn 2, and Maverick had nowhere to go, and took a big bold risk staying out with 20 lap old tires. I can't believe that even worked, but I knew I was holding everybody up on my old tires, so it was a handful. So, but glad we got the win, and maybe we can win these next 3 races. Never know.
Absolutely. Well, looking forward, Derek, we know that you've pretty much secured your spot into Homestead as long as you show up the next couple of weeks. And rack up the minimum amount of points per race that you need. What is your game plan moving forward? Are you going to go out there and try to steal a couple wins from some competitors that may be trying to make their way into Homestead based on a win as well? Or are you going to kind of take it easy and try to help some other people? What's your plan moving forward here, looking forward to Homestead?
I'll tell you one thing. When it comes to winning a championship, it's all about you. So if I have to spoil the show and then keep somebody from winning, I mean, that's what I got to do. I want the 4 best drivers that earned it. If a non-chaser or a non-playoff driver or myself will get the wins, I'll be more than happy to face the people that run consistent these next 2 races in Texas and Phoenix.
Well, there you go. Well, Derek, with this win tonight, does that mean that the fans out there get to have a free sample of the 31 flavors of Baskin-Robbins?
Yep. World-class chocolate. Try it out. It's fantastic.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, Derek, I'm going to give you the mic one more time. You know the tradition. You've been here. I've interviewed you a lot. I know you've talked with a bunch of us over the several months that you've appeared on FVN. The mic is all yours, sir. If you got anybody you want to thank, anybody that was either watching live tonight or may watch back the archive of the broadcast, go ahead and give a shout-out to anybody who may be watching this.
Well, first and foremost, always Full Velocity Network putting the show on. I can't thank you guys enough for putting these shows and for Maverick that paid for this event here. Thank you, Maverick, and everybody out there in YouTube land. Hi, and what else? I hope you all enjoy the next Martinsville race, which is coming in here in 4 days.
All right, guys. Well, that is our race winner here this evening, the number 31 Ford F-150, that Baskin-Robbins sponsored machine for Derek Justice. Phil, I don't know about you. That was an exciting race to watch between him and David Day. I can't help but be a little biased and pull for my teammate David there, but regardless, nonetheless, fantastic display of racing between those guys. Shows the respect that a lot of these guys have out there for one another. They all understand the concept that beating and banging is racing, and that's something you expect at short tracks. And, 2 of the best guys in the business out there doing it with David Day and Derek Justice. And I think all the fans should be very happy and very pleased with the product that was put on by the guys over at the SRA 711 series here tonight at Martinsville. This is no easy task going out there with 18 guys and they had a couple cautions, but that's expected when you go to a short track. So phenomenal job by all those guys.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. An awesome job. Awesome race here tonight, Todd. And if 175 laps tonight at Martinsville wasn't enough, well, we get to come right back and do it, as Derek said, 4 nights from now, back to the FTF Jones Cup Series in 200 miles or 200 laps there coming up on Sunday night. That is going to be a good time. If you saw a good competition here with a solid field here tonight, wait till we get to FTF Sunday night. That is going to be one crazy, insane evening. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that Martinsville race FTF and see who's going to make themselves into the next round, make it to the championship round there. And then we also can't forget on I believe it's Monday night we do go back to I believe it's to the All-Star group over there on Monday. We actually go there for some iRacing there, iRacing truck style, and then Tuesday we make our return visit to Big Show Promotions for the near modifieds, and that's going to be a fantastic show in itself. So I can't wait. We got a lot of bookings Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of next week, and Thursday also. Thursday we have another one coming up, don't we, Phil?
Oh, we certainly do. Thursday night next week, we go back over to our friends at the AS Racing 2K3 group. We got a great race for them coming up at the Talladega Super Speedway. As Todd said, iRacing this coming Monday night with the All-Star Racing Group, the Spooktacular 100 at Martinsville, sandwiched in between the Linear Speedway, the UMP Modifieds with our friends at Big Show Promotions, a group we did for the first time last night, which was a smashing success, and we have to come back all fully prepared with those guys next Tuesday night. But said the big one for us coming up this week, Sunday night, we go back to Martinsville, the FTF Jones Cup Series. Full schedule of events, guys, located on our home base. The website is fullvelocitynetwork.com. So until next time, 4 nights from now, for Joe, for Todd, an awesome job, you guys, as always. Thank you out there, everybody in YouTube land, for watching another great installment of the Full Velocity Network right here. We will see you next time. Good night, and we'll talk to you soon.